This video is designed for anybody that missed the start of this project, or just would like a little refresher on what we ended up covering day one of our Google Drawing animal slash clay project. So this video, I'm just kind of going through the basic step by step, which is a little tutorial of how to get started, and then giving you a class code to be able to do so. So first off, if you have not already done and downloaded this, gotten linked into the Google class code, then please put this in, and then you'll get the new page. So do a little pause, copy and paste it over to a new Google Classroom. Now that you've done that, we're going to just chat a little bit about the assignment. So this assignment kind of has two parts. One is we're going to be making a clay profile of an animal face. So the animal face is completely up to you how you're going to do it. But the main thing is you are going to focus in on using Google Drawing software. You're going to focus on the major shapes that are going to make up the animal, and then you're going to accurately replicate an image. When all done and prepped for clay, you'll finish up with adding colors to your design, and then boom, you'll have the final created artwork. So I'm just going to be showing a few slides of faces of animals. So if you're looking at this guy, the koala, the main features you should be noticing is the eye, nose, and mouth region. Those are the sections that are different. The full body, it's kind of a bilateral symmetry, same on left, same on right, so it's just copy paste. Whereas the main facial features of the animal is what is going to really, when people check it out, be able to quickly be able to identify what it is. So you want to slow down on these sections. And on these sections, there's usually 2 to 5 layers. Layer being different colors. So the nostrils, you can see different color from the main part of the nose compared to the outline of the nose and mouth. So that 2 to 5 range. This one's much better. You can see how they've broken up, besides just doing the pupil, they've broken up the iris color. So it's got a few different specks. They've got the glare in the eye. You don't have to do that. I would focus in on getting at least the outline of the color and then the outline of the eyeball, but like adding those circle, 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 circle. They've got 4 different parts for the iris. That does pop out and really make you zone in on looking at the eyes more than anything else. But that part's not necessary. But again, look at how they ended up focusing on the nose. They've got a couple different grays in on the nose, and same with tongue. So you want to make sure that the eye, nose, mouth, whatever animal you choose, those areas have 2 to 5 layers built up of different sections of color. Those are usually done with highlights and shades. And so this one kind of freaks me out. The eyeballs are not finished, but just showcasing how you can end up doing not just a solid color, but you could end up throwing in a gradient for your color when you're feeling, okay, I'm all done. I want to do the project now in color. So with your animal that you choose, some are going to be extremely easy. There's not a whole lot of detail you got to throw in there. Where some are going to have some crazy different shapes to maybe some spots that they have on their body. And so depending on which one you do, you just want to really focus in on getting those facial features before just getting that outline in. So I have on the Google class code that you've put in, and now you have access to that classroom. I have a Google Doc that has all these link. So if after this tutorial you still are kind of struggling, just click on like how to begin Google Drawing, and I would watch these first 3 especially to be able to get started on the project if you need any additional support. These additional links is just if you're wanting to, this top one is in using Curveline, and the bottom one is using Polyline. And so either or is fine. Polyline is hard edged, and Curveline is well curved. It's all got rounded edges. So this is how I'm going to get started. You'll first want to go to your drive. Once you go to your drive, then in the top left, you will see a tab that says New. Click on New, and then scroll down to where it says More. Go over to Google Drawings. Once you're on Google Drawings, then you can get started. You should have already found a picture of what you're doing. So I would go to Insert Image because you found your image, and I'm going to add, let's go snow leopard. And so with snow leopard, first I want to make it so that there's not so much background and we're just focusing on the face. So let's crop some of this picture. There's a crop tool at the top. Otherwise, you can click on that. Otherwise, you can just double click on the picture and then grab the black, drag, slide it in, grab the black tab, grab, slide it in. Once you like the way it looks, then press enter. And then let's enlarge this to fill the page. Oops. Once it's filling the page, then maybe center it. That's a you thing. But now we're good to start doing the details. So for the snow leopard, like I said, I would start with eye, nose, mouth features. To do this, you're really only going to be using one tool the whole time, and that is either the curve or the polyline. And if you want to learn how to do polyline, then watch that YouTube video that's about 3-4 minutes long. I'm going to use curve because there's a whole lot of curve going on in this animal. And I would write this down in your sketchbook on page 22. You're going to want to press down these functions on your keypad, Control, Alt, Plus. If you press Control, Alt, Plus, Alt at the same time, it's going to zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. The more you zoom in, the easier it's going to be for working on facial features. If you stay zoomed out, you're going to find that a lot of times your images are going to close off before you're finished. And so I'm going to be on the curve, and I'm going to start with the innermost part and work my way out. So this black section, I just click, and then I drag, and then I click, and then I drag my cursor. Click, drag cursor, click, drag cursor. Just copy paste over and over and over. And you're like, well, that's not a perfect circle. You can use the arrow tool. The arrow tool, if you double click, then and they show purple circles, you can grab a circle and you can move it around until you're like, okay, that's what I'm talking. I like that better. When you're all done, just click back on curve and move on your next section. So I did the pupil, and now I'm doing the colored part of the eye. What I like about the snow leopard is that their eyes, like the iris colored, the colored part, it's not a perfect circle like ours are, and it's just got this funky little shape to it, which I think is pretty sweet. All right, the other thing I'd write down, so I just need you to write down a total of 2 things. I know the lazy bones part of you probably doesn't want to write down the 2 things, but the first one was the Control Alt Plus, and that zooms in. So what do you think Control Alt Minus would do? It's just going to Control Alt Minus is just going to zoom out. So I'm not done though, so I'm going to go Control Alt Plus. And now the other thing I need you to write down is Control and then the arrow down. When you do that, that pushes what you just made down a layer. So now I'm going to work on the next and do the outer part of the eye. And then click, click, click. And click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click, move my cursor, click, move my cursor. Once the whole thing's done, what do I need to do? Control down arrow, and it just keeps pushing everything back. And so you're going to focus on one facial feature at a time. And like I said, once you have, you're like, okay, well, now what? I'm done with the eye. Then you'll zoom out and then focus on the other eye. And then when done with the eye, then I would focus in on nose, mouth, and then slowly work your way out. So I'm going to finish this out, and then I'm going to show you a couple examples of how I've already done that with another animal drawing. So got that. If you mess up like I just did, see, I click and I click. If you accidentally double click, it's gonna kill what you're drawing. You just have to delete it. But this shape, I'm gonna click on the arrow, click the shape, press Control down, 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 and now I'm all done with the eyeball. So now I'm gonna press Control Alt minus to zoom out. That eyeball's done, and then I would focus in on the other eyeball and keep going. So going back to the slideshow, you can see how I've done the eyeballs, a couple wrinkles, an eyebrow for the main facial features of pig. Then after doing that, I focused in on nose, then the main part of the nose. Mouth was super easy, but then after doing that, then what makes this face dimensional is his snout sticks out. So there was a line there, and I followed that line. After I have that, then it's like, well, you have to decide, are you going to go turbo and focus in on every single highlight on this face? If you are, then you would split a line right here and follow where this light is hitting and do one up top, and then do one down here for where it's a shadow. I didn't do that, but what I did do is I focused on the shadow on the insides of the ear, and because there's a lot of different colors going on the inside of the ear. So when I do add color, I think the ears would be pretty distinct, but the facial feature, I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to just show you, this is the end product, just getting that outline. Now, the main reason why we would want to get all these outlines for eye, nose, mouth, ears, face, whatever, is this is what we will have printed off for you for when we're using clay. And when we use clay, this will be a kind of like a stencil tracer, and you'll put it on top of your clay, and then you'll cut, 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 draw, 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 boom, done. And then once you have this guy done, then you're going to want to save it. So my last name being Macaulay, I put in Macaulay, I put hyphen, I put pig outline. I'm done. And then on your Google Classroom here in a couple days, I will have a place for you to be able to drop and submit this. But you're not completely done. You're going to go File, and you're going to go Make a Copy. Well, the reason why I want to make a copy is because instead of it saying copy, you're going to change that to color. And this one is going to be, instead of just outline, this is going to be color with outline. So showing you how this guy got all the main spaces broken up, but then they went back and changed the color, and they had their picture off to the side. Another thing you can do is you can, on these shapes, let's go to the pig. Pig's further along. You can just select the area, and it defaults it to light blue. But if you just go to transparent, then you can see what color that is. And then you can go and you can try to match it up. And then if you're like, nah, that's not really matching up, then if it's really bothering you, then you can go turbo and go custom, and you can try to match it up that way, and then click OK. And it'll save all your customs at the bottom of your page, which is pretty sweet. So you just keep doing that and figuring out, okay, well, this next section right here, I'm going to make transparent. This section right here, I'm going to make transparent. And then you can see between the two, whoa, the outer part of the ear matches the main part of the face. So I'm going to switch over to the custom to match. But then the inside of the ear, that was dark. So I'm going to darken up that. And then if I'm like, meh, don't like it, then just keep retweaking it. But that's how you would be able to go about adding color to your thing. And then there's the end product. I'm going to show you, I had a former student that knocked this out, and they had some extra time. And this is what we're doing all week. And so most students, it takes them about 2 days. But if you're like, oh my gosh, this is taking me a whole week, no worries. That's why you have the week. But if you're flying through this project, then I'd be like this person and make more. So this person was kind of inspired by an artist called Andy Warhol. And Andy Warhol would mess around with colors and make things different. And so after they made their normal dog, then they made purple dog, they made blue dog, and then they made a dog with a little tiara with flowers on it. So they did a dog series, which is sweet. You don't have to stick with that, I've had some students where they're making some fictitious things based off of shows and books. I have a couple students that are currently working on Google drawing shoes and cityscapes. So once you finish the assignment, you've made one that's just a contour outline, and you made one that's in color, then you are done with what you have to do for the week. And if you have any extra time, then feel free to go turbo and do more and more and more. And that's it, guys. Hopefully you found this video super helpful.